How do you reduce demands for your demand-avoidant child? Demand-avoidant behaviour is because the demand that's being placed on the person causes that person to feel extremely anxious. So the goal with supporting someone who is experiencing demand avoidance is to try and reduce anxiety around demands. Here are some tips. Be flexible. Adjust your mindset about what is actually essential. You might have been told by society that on a cold day, your child must wear a coat outside or you are not being a good parent. But do they really have to leave the house wearing a coat? If put a coat on is causing demand anxiety, could you take the coat with you, and then if the child becomes cold, they have the option of putting it on? Recognise that mental health is more important than achievements. I have a child that is not going the conventional route through education, and when we first started on that path, I felt very anxious because I had been led to believe that they must do this, this and this in this order in order to be successful humans. But actually, mental health is something that's important right now, and there is not only one route towards achieving your goals. So perhaps they're going to do it a little bit differently to everyone else, but I'm confident that with the right support and good mental health, they will be able to get there. Consider the wording of the demand. If you're asking a child to get dressed for school, for example, you could say, "Here are your clothes, let me know if you need any help," and leave the room, rather than "Get dressed now because we need to be ready for school." In doing that, you're offering them support if they need it, you're not pressuring them, you're not putting the demand of school on top of the demand of getting dressed, and the whole thing just feels less intense. Like, sometimes the words can mean exactly the same thing, but for some reason it makes me feel less stressed. I experience demand avoidance around having a part-time job, but I do have a part-time job, so I tell myself that I have a well-paid hobby. Because if I actually tell myself I have a job, I'm probably going to be too anxious to be able to do it. Consider indirect communication, such as placing food next to a child rather than handing food to them and saying, "Please eat it." Work with anyone that's external that is setting demands on your child to help them to support you, to support your demand avoidant child. For example, it would be better to have 10 minutes of manageable homework a day that gets done than half an hour of homework that causes meltdowns and anxiety and a really difficult evening for your child, and the work still just doesn't get done. Especially when you consider the way that not being able to manage that homework will impact your child's self-esteem.